Good evening, and it's April 26, 2022. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. I'm RisenLadyHeathen. Hey, asshole, what separates our show from other Millennial news podcasts?
That regardless of how much he pumps his hand, I'm not gonna come up with something to interrupt your introduction and force the funny, because that never works.
No, and that's why I love you.
And then you get punished for it.
Yeah.
We have a boomer, and not just any boomer. We have Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
Good evening.
You two eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm learning. That's three unique perspectives we share along with the facts from our literal round table. I apologize, I'm a little stuffed up tonight and a little under the weather, so you have to follow with me today. So let's dig right into our headlines. Freedom bulbs are phasing out. Oh shit, it might help.
No,
if
that's
I
fine.
give you your notes back.
So you remember the Freedom Bulb?
the Freedom bulb?
Yeah, they cost more to buy. They cost more to run. They
Even
don't
though
last
they're
as long.
fucking
product I've
They
ever heard
they
of.
were the fucking cheapest fucking bulbs
If it
back in
gave
the
you
day.
diabetes, it would be the most effective.
Well, and best of all, they
We
were
used to be
made
able
in
to get four for a goddamn dollar.
China,
Right.
where all the replacement bulbs at that time were being made in the U.S. So
Fair.
anyway, Biden's new energy rules will gradually taper off.
Yes, finally. Fuck you, freedom bulbs. No one liked you anyway.
Yeah, no. Anyway, it's going to be worth about $3 billion each year in utility costs. And it'll prevent 222 million tons of carbon pollution from being.
Even your great aunt Susan didn't like you, freedom bulbs. How do you like them apples?
Only use I ever found for a Freedom bulb was keeping a well pump warm. So.
All right, the deadly reasons Republicans are suckers for fake news. Tell me about this.
So this was the first time we had talked about it before. It was the first time I'd seen a study that said the real problem is that they're more vulnerable to listening to and believing people who present themselves as authority figures.
That's why all the people,
like
all the
everybody.
doctors you see on TV are wearing a lab coat and hanging up a
Yeah.
stethoscope. There's
Yeah.
a performative aspect to all this.
Even though they're actors, right?
Well, if they are or not. It's the reason why we have the judges on TV wear robes when they're not really judges.
Right.
That's fucked up.
No, they're arbitration.
So anyway, this all goes back to George Lakoff's finding that they like the strict father approach.
Yeah.
Right. Well, progressives prefer a nurturing family approach. The strict father limits freedom, but he also provides a sense of safety.
Mm-hmm.
Father will protect and take care of you. So putting your trust in authoritarian figures diminishes both the complexity of your life, and there's less to know and worry about if
God
you believe
forbid
that Father
you
has
have
it under
to
control.
think. Fuck you.
Yeah, but if it
Lazy
hasn't
pieces
worked,
of shit.
Second, and this is a direct play on the first,
yeah,
is that it makes them far more subject to misinformation of every kind,
Duh.
including advertising.
Because that would make them have to think.
missing some parts.
Advertising is intended to tell you that you don't have to think,
Right.
right?
When you're watching TV, you're not conscious. According to, if we look at you with all the science we've got, your brain's not functioning and firing in a critical fashion. Which is great for storytelling. That's the problem, and humans are hardwired for storytelling. The other thing that I thought this story lacked it should have gone further. Part of what they want is the lack of culpability.
Agreed, right?
Right, that's what drives the mob mentality.
Right, because they want the
they're
anonymity
taking-
and they want to kick down on somebody who can't resist.
But that's a human instinct, right? They know it's a low resource response, right? So fuck everyone who's fuck everyone who would want to take from me, who would see me as having more than them.
Because they are lowering the resources for those around them, so they need others to react in a low resource environment. And
For the people who have got life by the balls and have enough money to worry about the estate tax, I can agree that's true.
Yeah.
For the people who are also working by the hour but kicking down, right? Again, the people they hired to be cops at company towns, right, were just as dirty-eatingly poor as the people they were oppressing, but they were socially enough in charge and paid well enough that their wives and daughters weren't getting molested for stuff you owed the company store.
So anyway, the core message for a lot of advertising is you are the most important person in the world and you want this product. And that formulation makes them very vulnerable to anything people want to sell them.
Yep. No, because that's what TV taught the boomers growing up, right? At some level, there is a great deal of truth in the fact that they were calling you guys the TV generation long before.
Yeah, they were.
And no shit, you watched a guy die on television and a man walk on the moon. Fuck yes, the TV's important.
Yeah.
The TV knows some shit. And the other thing is, the way I feel about the internet is probably similar to how you would feel about if you thought about the art and the body of work that went into the language of television.
Yeah.
That you grew up with that. Right? That when you go back and watch episodes of Dobie Gillis now, there are scenes in that shot in ways we would never shoot them today.
Yeah.
But no one knew not to do it that way, and that added something to it.
Yeah.
And anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No. So anyway, the problem is that it makes them profoundly susceptible to a whole range of advertising and misinformation.
And advertising's never had the body of, the data points to target you specifically, right? I could get people who like to wear red underwear and send them ads.
Well, I think how good it is for Fox News because they have a collection of these people.
So you now know exactly me about Fox News is the left's tendency to go, we've got the market cornered on smart kids, and you can look at the design of how, none of the women on Fox News wear pants.
Yeah, that drives me insane.
It's brilliant for
None
their
of
targeting.
them wear
you look
pantsuit.
At yep. No, but you look at the they've demonized pantsuits. Hillary wears those. But the amount of genuine thought gone into being the soothing, comforting voice, right? The siren song that is heavily targeted at news.
I promise y'all, if I ever make my way into politics, I will wear pantsuits except on very special occasions in which I will wear the biggest, gaudiest, most ridiculous ball gowns I can find and afford. You're welcome. Love y'all.
I'd say wear blue jeans, but what the hell?
That too.
Depends on the thing, because when people do that to the Oscars and stuff, it never comes off.
No, you want to wear something crazy and whatever that people.
On the other hand, if you're running for office, what are you doing at the Oscars?
Hopefully slapping
fucking appointments. Oh, I will speak heavily with Will Smith and get his advertisements on what is a good idea. When should I smack someone? When shouldn't I?
Yeah.
That'll be amazing. Okay. Missouri GOP wants to ban trans adults from getting health care. What the fuck, Missouri?
Well, from getting gender affirming health care.
Yeah. I just
so they've already done it
in general.
Right, so several states have already banned transgender.
That is certainly why they call it the other thing.
That's aggressively why I refuse to call it the other thing.
So Missouri Republicans are now trying to expand that ban to a number of transgender adults up through at least the age of 25.
What the fuck do they have to do with 20? Okay, you know what? I'm willing to put my line at 18 years old because we let them go to fucking war at 18. They can change their gender
Their
if they
chosen
want.
psychologists testified that people under the age of 25 don't have brains that are fully developed. So, anyway.
Okay, then we're not sending them to war anymore, right? Because their brains aren't fully developed. They can't make war decisions.
We have to remember we're talking about Missouri, where girls as young as 16 can get married.
Yeah.
Girls as young as 14 can get married with court permission, and where children as young as 12 can be tried as adults in criminal cases.
Can I throw up now?
Yeah, there's some of those the criminal cases.
Reasonable response?
I want to do that on a case-by-case. I think our mistake on this issue is not saying this should be handled between a patient and their doctor.
Yes.
And wait a second, what the fuck ever happened to, I don't want the government, right, unions are bad because it's people getting in the way of a contract.
Yeah, and it's and that socialist medicine is just get between me and my doctor. You don't have a doctor without socialist medicine.
Why is it wrong to make a 14 or 16-year-old wait until they're 18 to get married? What's the problem with that?
Because we don't have a right to interfere with religion.
But it has nothing to do with religion. These people don't even understand religion at under an age. Okay, we've already hold on. I got a good argument here.
No, you don't.
We've already established that we can't really trust a brain until it's 25, right? That's what they said, and until these
That's what
trans
their
people
pet
are 25.
psychologist was saying.
Sure. So let's go with that. Let's go with 25. So nobody can get married until they're 25. End of discussion. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm happy
Can't be
with that.
drafted.
That
Let's
won't
do
be
it.
the way it works.
Can't be drafted. Can't be married. Can't do nothing until
I
you're
wish we
25.
lived in the logical universe. That would be.
But again, that interferes with
No,
religion,
live
so it's
in
going
the
nowhere.
land that Kafka would.
No,
wrap
I
it.
understand.
I'm done.
But
Shit, man. I'm sorry. I wrote those books. I didn't realize I
Yeah.
had apparently the direct line to God.
Fuck me. Yep.
no, and again, like I don't agree with that, but at the same time, if they're going to start talking about fucking people need to be
If you're
25,
willing to pretend that they have any interest in the argument besides this 6 seconds right now, and they don't, right? Again, you saw how quickly they adopted body autonomy when it was about masks, but fuck off if it's about your future family planning, right? The government has a heavy interest in that.
no, but my point is that let's fucking, take the fight to them.
Oh, for
Be
sure.
like, all right, then no one can get married till
Yeah,
they're 25.
Democrats-
And when they say, no, they should be able to get married, why? I thought you said
They'll
in
say-
this statement and in this whatever,
And they'll bang
they're
the
not
gavel
fully
and
whatever.
call the vote, and that'll be the end of that.
Yeah.
Well, sure, fine, but it will point out their fucking ridiculousness.
We're
It will
doing that in
point out
Florida.
their craziness.
We have a group that wants to go get the Bible banned because of its comment
Oh,
on slavery. and
that's
so forth.
amazing. I didn't
Yeah.
hear about that. Do you have information on that?
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
talking about that tonight?
No,
Can we talk about that?
no.
Fuck.
We'll talk about it tomorrow night. It's fine.
Ah,
Save it up for a good thing.
no
Yeah.
fun. Okay, fine. Boomer Rex is about damn time. What is going on here? Tell me.
So, Merrick Garland said Tuesday he would back efforts by lawmakers to allow the proceeds from asset sales, assets seized from Russian oligarchs, to go directly to war-torn Ukraine. And so this is something we've talked about. They have $680 billion in a foreign trade account that we have seized, and there's no reason not to just start sending that to Ukraine.
I'd use that to fund Stinger missile manufacturing.
Oh, sure. Well, we might be willing to pay for that ourselves, but
I agree.
they could buy those F-21 or MiG-21s they wanted. So,
My
How long
pen
is flight
died.
school?
We were talking about Merrick Garland, right?
yes.
All right, my pen died and it looked like Carlard.
So anyway, the legislation, they haven't passed it yet. Folks are working on it. It's going to be a little tricky because we have to confiscate the property, not just freeze it. But anyway,
Good.
Sounds like a good idea.
Send the police,
love it.
go in the bank, get a check.
Yeah.
Sounds fair. I'm
And
all
if they
about
don't
it.
like it, they can sue us in a U.S. court. Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
Oh, that'll be funny.
Yeah, it will be.
Oh, wait, we're not doing
That's one of
deals
the
with you.
ones-
Oh,
this
wait,
is
we
another
gave
one of
away
those
your
I would
money.
be rude
Cool.
about it, right?
Yeah.
So whoever goes in needs to go, bank manager so-and-so who lives at this address with wife, one dog named Patches.
Yeah.
We're here to do this thing. Right? I want a little bit real genuine threat of government. Having mentioned it earlier, or maybe in the pregame show, at the end of Patriot Day, when we're chasing the Sarnaez brothers all over hell and breakfast, and the kids that are feds but not quite feds show up. That.
Yep.
That's the sort of Darth Vader level of, no, we're not here to fuck around, we're not going to talk about shit.
No, my favorite is when that old chief takes shots and he shoots under the car and shoots the dude's ankles out.
So if you
That's
want to
my
know the
favorite.
difference, that's part of why you should and part of why you shouldn't hire ex-military to be police.
True.
Right? Because the military teaches you, the Marine Corps is all about using buckshot bounced off the decks.
Right.
And that's a thing that no sane range would let you practice.
No, but I loved it. It was my favorite scene in the whole movie where he's just like, tunk, 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 and they're like, fuck, and they fall down, and then he fucking kills the one dude, and the other one drives off, but it was good things. All right, shall we move on to Dumbass of the Day?
Yeah, again, awarding Rand Paul Dumbass of the Day is just, I'm sorry, it's redundant.
I hope he has another disagreement about yard waste.
Yeah, soon. So old Rand Paul, Comrade Paul, just reading Putin's talking points.
Yes.
And claiming that Ukraine is part of Russia and so forth.
I remember he is heavily steeped in the internet, right? The one thing you have to give to Ron Paul was he was an early adopter of the internet for political messaging. Right, its roots of the next step in the evolution of newsletters.
Yeah.
So, because I have heard people who should have no interest in politics be quite vehemently Ron Paul supporters for reasons you get if you're low information.
Fair.
So I thought Blinken had the perfect response. He says it is the fundamental right of these countries to decide their own future.
Yep.
So let us hope we keep supporting them.
No, I agree with I heard an interview with a Ukrainian reporter, and the billions can stop going to the refugees. They're fine. They're out of Ukraine.
Yeah.
And so whatever, right? But we are flooding in huge amounts of money, which I'm sure very little of it will ever make it to the ground. Right. Entirely too many of these people have master's degrees, and I hear those are expensive. So.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
but I agree with pumping.
I have no trouble believing more of it will get to the ground than it did in Haiti.
Yep.
Or any of the other places.
Or here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure here.
Yep.
Again, we are patient zero for what's wrong with a lot of other places. Remember, we invented the concept of lobbying.
Fair.
So, anyway, while we're talking about Putin and friends.
Where are oligarchs hiding their cash? Tell me about this.
So, Dark Money Expert is pointing out that we're looking in the wrong places, right?
Oh, no.
It's not in the yachts, it's not in the houses.
Obviously not.
But if you look at that,
minor.
right, you'll see that what has happened is like for the houses and for the yachts, that the ownership has been obscured.
Yeah.
Right. So the U.S. has been doing that for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And so U.S. businessmen have been giving their Russian counterparts a helping hand when it comes to stashing cash, right? And so we have all these laws that permit, blind corporations and so forth and so on.
Right.
There are now some federal regulations that would stop some of that. So we need to go enforce those.
Yep.
Fair.
So, and I think the best way to enforce it is you walk up to the company and you say, who owns you? And if you don't get an answer, then you seize the company.
Yeah,
find out.
Shut it down, and owner will show up eventually.
Yeah, or not. In which case, it's ours.
Yeah. No, so much of this I would handle as making the graduation exercise for pick a thing, right? The ships hidden in where they're hiding the ships again, the Maldives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can find some Navy people to
Steels
deal
and
with that.
recon kids need to do visit, board, search, and seize training.
Yeah.
And fuck them. This is a kill house with free pop-up targets.
Yeah.
Fair.
And I assume most of the people who work on an oligarch ship are one of two kinds. Either criminal fuckheads, in which case I don't give a shit how the story plays out, or hired crew. I assume hired crew has been trained that if men come on board with the gun,
you put your goddamn hands up and fucking get down on your knees.
If I owned a rent a crew company, that's certainly how I'd train, is if pirates show up, don't resist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Why would you?
We didn't give you AKs for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm fucking down with that.
So I have a new candidate for a Russian oligarch.
Who's that?
Turkish President Erdogan.
Oh yeah,
who just toes the Kremlin line at every turn.
Saw that.
We need to keep the positive momentum gained at the Istanbul. There wasn't any positive momentum, right? He offered to restart the talks. Yeah, again, this is talk, fight.
And this is a lot of people who we do nice things with.
Yeah.
Man, that can stop.
No, we should just declare him an oligarch and
right.
Lots of his friends. I mean, this is Turkey's strongman. He's just another Putin.
So Turkey makes $720 billion a year. We can take $1 billion of that by not paying them to make our opiates anymore.
There you go.
That was actually one of my roadmaps out of Afghanistan, was we would just pay them to produce our poppies, which they have an amazing climate for.
Yeah.
And
it would generate money.
That was before
Yeah.
We gave up on a thing that we should have given up like a long time. Like, we did chest compressions so long after 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Fair.
Good on us, but...
Yeah, well, they didn't care enough. All right. Updates with BoomerRex. What is going on with climate weirding?
So, there's a new UN report that says, if you've noticed, there have been more disasters recently. Well, it's going to continue, and it's going to get... No, it's not your imagination.
Maybe it is. Powers. Nice, the internet. Send us money.
If the current trends continue, we'll go from around 400 disasters a year to 560 by the year 2030. But the thing we need to remember is that from 1970 to 2000, the world typically suffered just 90 to 100 medium to large-scale disasters per year.
So I'm sure we've quadrupled our emergency planning budget to obviously take care of this most foreseeable.
Absolutely,
No,
it would appear not.
Yeah.
But anyway, extreme heat waves 3 times as likely, 30% more droughts. I mean, again,
we're the country
guys,
so dumb. Yeah, I'm sorry.
The climate's weirding right out.
We're the country so dumb. We decided that FEMA had some sort of counter-terror role.
Oh God.
When no, you're the guys I want to
and
show
put
up
them
with
under
tents
DHS
and
and wrecked the only agency that fucking worked.
Well, or had any concept, like an actual mission statement that was achievable through in-house means.
I think they're separate again.
I hope so.
Yeah.
If not, they should be. Because again, the only thing I want FEMA doing is taking whatever numbers you can have. Because you remember, all of our plans for being able to find like your family after some shit goes down is dependent on your ability to remember long strings of numbers.
Yeah.
How many of your immediate friends and family do you know the social security number of? Or any number of for?
Yep.
So I need them to build a database of that and have tents and snacks.
Yeah. Phone numbers might work.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I need them just writing down, right? Write down all the goddamn numbers you
Yes. Okay.
Write down your own numbers in case they say your numbers.
Right. Yep.
Right. So I need you to run the world's God's own bingo game.
Yep.
And set up some tents and some snacks.
And some search computers.
Yeah. Plus, you're gonna need to do heavy human resource stuff.
Yeah.
But that's easy. Like once you've got humans in an area, they take direction from anyone.
Yeah.
And most humans want to be productive.
Most of them will want to help. Yes.
So.
Anyway.
But yeah, no, I saw the thing about Ron Fallen. What the fuck, man? Like,
how can you be that dumb? Well, it's because he's Comrade Rand Paul.
No, I think he's right. I think we are going to come to find out that we think the high water mark for Russia was the election. I think our entire operation is happening inside their kill box. Right. I think that we will find that they have invested more heavily in the internet than anyone could ever understand because they know they can't fight us in the field.
Yep.
But the internet, where you can talk to lonely kids and just get people thinking shitty, mean things.
Well, I mean, if they don't do anything but funnel money to the Republicans, who are very good at feeding each other misinformation and other nonsense.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, they make their own fucking articles off of what their BFF said and call it fact, which, I mean, I could say any number of things tomorrow and post it on our Facebook and say, oh, no, it's totally true.
Yep.
And then cite it and say, no.
Oh, yeah, and it's not going to get better.
We said on our Facebook that this happened because it did, and blah, blah, blah.
I will be interested in what happens to Twitter with Musk.
I did see somebody having good speculation on this is going to kill, right? Getter, Gab, or distill them down to whatever isn't allowable, right? That those should be then watched as active networks for coordination.
Yeah.
Like, but of real like 4chan is what they would burn out into.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I might start a new column, and I'm just bringing it up to everybody right now. So Facebook tends to have a lot of false memes on them that are shared, and that sort of thing.
That's its point.
Right. So people share these memes and whatever. So I think it might be imprudent because I have a friend of mine who often likes to share
false
memes that I Google and then find out they are not true.
So class on
maybe it would be imperative to take these memes and explain to people that they're inappropriate and wrong. So I stumbled across a meme that was very powerful. The way the meme was depicted. So it was
that's the power of memes.
So it was a picture of two people sitting on a bench, and there was a street lamp over the bench that would have pointed to the person on the right. However, the light was directed over the person on the left, and it said Johnny Depp, and the light was labeled Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and the light was labeled media focus. And then the person sitting on the right, who was now in darkness, was labeled 6 months of food processing plants mysteriously burning down. And I said, what the fuck is this talking about? I look at the news every day. The three of us look at the news, we would have stumbled across something. So I said, what the fuck is this? So I Googled it. And I found that Snoop says, no, this is false. So there's no issues with food processing plants. Normal amount of fires. So nothing that is more or less than previous years has occurred this year. And some are being hyped as these big processing plants, but they were just small delis, that will burn because people put something in the fryolator or whatever, and it set fire to the whatever because they didn't clean it properly.
Because it always ends in fire.
Anyway, and such. So it's not big processing plants are not being burned down at any fast rate.
You should look and see if that meme was paid for by the American Meat Packers Association.
I'm not sure how to look that up. All I know is that Snoop said it's not fact. That's not a thing. So before you post, and this is something that I would like to talk about on the reg now because it's something I find regularly.
Okay.
Before you share a meme, that sounds like, oh my God, that's crazy.
No, but it does fit with
Google it.
The general zeitgeist, right? The New York Times fucked everyone. This debate about reporters sitting on shit until their books are ready. I agree, that should end.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still true, but I vaguely recall hearing, and it's the SEALs, so Lord knows.
Yeah.
But
there have been a couple
the
where
SEAL
it
that
looked
shot
like
Bin
that.
Laden and then went off to write all these fucking books and shit. Not universally beloved by the other SEALs who thought the job was to do things and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, you got to do cool shit and go surfing a lot of places. We just don't talk about where or why.
And so there are several websites that are dedicated to getting rid of these types of lies in society. One of them is Snopes, SNOOPS.com. You don't have to go there directly. All you have to do is go to Google and put in, is there a problem?
Snoops or Snopes?
SNOOPS. I'm gonna fucking
Snopes
punch
is
you.
SNOPES.
Anyway, so this website, which I just spelled for you, so fuck how I pronounce it.
Only one out.
Fine, but the one it's whatever. Spell it the way it's supposed to be.
SNOPES.
Okay, because
Snopes is the standard for
fine,
this kind of thing.
because the one I saw was different. But anyway, I could be having a moment. Fine. The point is that all you have to do is go to Google when you find one of these memes.
Right.
Put in, hey, is there a problem with packing plants burning down? And it will say no, or yes, or maybe.
It's what?
It's digitized scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
No, we've turned. Hey, that's what. No, because a lot of I think social media might actually be the worst thing humans have ever done, including inventing war.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that before you share a meme that looks funny, sounds good, or brings attention to something that you feel is important, fucking Google that shit.
Yeah.
Don't spread misinformation. You don't want to be one of those people. And that's all I'm asking.
They don't care, and I don't think you can get people to think of gossiping around the water cooler, which is short, fast twitch decision making. It's just wargaming, but using social settings.
Yeah, but I think doing one of those every show or
absolutely.
every other show is a great idea.
No, but
I'll find some and bring them to you.
no, but that's what I think. It's important for us to occasionally, when we see obvious glaring
Absolutely.
ones,
No, I'm all
to
for
pull
that.
them out and
Yeah.
say, nope, stop sharing this. It's not true, and here's why it's not true.
Visit as a deep dive how to properly source this shit.
Yeah, that one I can't even figure out why they bother posting.
The problem with the good memes like the one you described is that fits what people think. Right, that is true for how people feel. In that, right? It's looking a lot more like the Hunter Biden laptop's a thing, not the thing the crazy are shouting it is. But
Nope.
I have no doubt if we flip over the Hunter Biden rock, a bunch of wiggly things are gonna move.
Right, but at the same time, I wouldn't trust anything they find on that computer at this point. They've had
Absolutely.
far too long with it. Far too many hands have had their hand on it.
Is there any way Hunter Biden and Feinstein can have a car accident?
No, I'm fine with that. That would be amazing, and then we would never
Just
have
need
to
to
worry about it again.
Exit
But
stage now.
all right. do you guys want to continue this line? Are we good?
Yeah.
Is there
let's do
anything
that.
else someone wants to talk
No,
about?
and I wasn't meaning to attack your. I love the idea. I had never thought of it before as they have really turned it into the early morning gossip that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Except now it's everywhere all
Okay.
the
Yeah.
time.
So part of the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I have someone who is like they try to be open-minded. They went through a bad relationship, which that person taught them bad things, and they're still trying to get out of it. So me, and I've noticed other people regularly post and say this is wrong. So they're learning. But I feel like it's important for those people who might believe these types of things to understand that, oh shit, maybe I should stop and think before I post, because I don't feel like that's said enough, even on all the podcasts I listen to. I've never heard somebody say, stop and think before you post or share a meme.
Don't post. Stop. Social media is not good.
No, only share memes from us, because our memes are thoroughly researched and whatever.
And mostly dinosaurs.
Exactly. But the point is that there are many memes out there which are literally just out there for your initial reaction.
Yes.
And to get you to believe and trust something that is aggressively not true.
It
So
wants
always
to teach you a shortcut to an answer it very much wants.
And you know what?
Then you have to tell me why post this one.
I would be happy if all y'all looked up even our memes before you shared them and just made sure that our facts were correct. I'm fine with that. Some of our memes are opinions, which fine. It's an opinion. You can share it if you agree or not, and that's cool. But if it's not an opinion and it has specific facts in it, Google them before you share. Don't share misinformation, because that's part of the problem.
There's a good way to tell which ones you ought to Google.
Let's say
They're the ones
The ones that don't say BoomerRexTonight on the bottom right or left corner.
Yeah.
So, no, you if you are a progressive, anything other than a lunatic Trumpista,
or being assaulted,
you look at something and it's just obviously false on its face. Go snope it. The other time you want to do that is when you look at something and said, by God, I've always thought that was the way it was.
No, that's the harder one to argue.
Yeah.
Is you have to distrust shit that agrees with you.
Yes.
And I don't know how you teach that to people who didn't want to go to the places I learned that from. Right? Because that is driven home the whole time through learning any part of security. That's cool. That's what that guy said. And now I have to run through my head of, is that guy fucking competent? Would that guy see anything?
Yeah.
Or did he just go outside, smoke a bunch of weed, and hang out for 10 minutes
right
outside the light?
Yeah.
Right. So all I'm saying, think before you share.
Absolutely.
Think before you share.
Cool.
Think before you post. Do your research, and don't share fake memes or memes that are misleading.
Sounds like a good idea.
So, yeah, and I think this is important, and I feel like we'll
see how it goes.
touch on this once or twice a week, and just make sure people understand which memes are out there and what they're doing and what their purpose is.
Why post this one? From whose perspective?
So in this instance,
useful for? Follow the money. Who did it make money
so
for?
in this instance, with this particular meme I was discussing, this is about people who are concerned about the food, quote unquote, food shortages, which we're barely having, and saying that it is being
distrust in the system universe.
Exactly.
Chaos united.
System distrust, exactly, 100%. Food system distrust.
Or somebody who is profiteering on groceries.
There's no one obvious to shorten it.
And again, my friend just shared it randomly.
American
I don't
Meat
know where
Packers
she
Association?
found it.
I don't know what their industry association is.
It's about selling the There's things you don't know moving in the background. It's
No, it's the whole concept of every time there is a big celebrity thing that happens, it's always assumed that that's covering something else up.
Yeah. Okay.
So this was some random thing that was not really happening that people thought they could push it on and say, "Oh, we're ignoring this real big problem for this not."
Well, and that fits with the reality on the ground of finding out. Oh, these reporters sat on some stuff till their book was coming out, which part of me gets, and part of me goes, "Motherfucker."
Or the Chicago
you
cops
report all
who
the
sat
time?
on the video
Yeah.
for 2.5 years.
The fact that the Chicago police still have a black site.
Yeah. So we need to wrap this up
Good
because we
idea
have
to that.
exceeded
It's
Boomer
only-
Rex's bedtime.
No, fine. It's
Fairly
only been
wildly.
34 minutes, you crazy man. All right. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review. Tell Boomer Rex he's an old man and needs to fucking deal with it. Go to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on Facebook for fun memes and a link to our Patreon. I don't even think I can say what's.
And tell Risen she's a useless millennial.
Give us $1. No. Tell me
She should
that
stop
I
eating
like
avocado
yes,
toast.
I like avocado toast too much, even though I've never in my life eaten avocado. It'll be amazing. Do it. I dare you.
I've seen you eat guacamole.
Yeah, but that's not on. I never put it on toast. Why would
That's
you put
definitely an
avocado on
avocado.
toast? That's terrible. I've put it on a burger. Shut up. It's my
know what that
it's
is.
my bro. He's Gen X. I blame him. Or check your favorite podcasting service for Boomer Rex
I
tonight.
have never put avocado on a burger.
We can
Roasted red peppers.
again. My Gen X brother turned me onto it. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Samsung Podcasts.
That's what the
I
lettuce is supposed
fucking
to.
said
Yeah,
that
true.
straight.
It just adds moisture.
And it hit us up.
I'd rather
And-
have the lettuce.
Shut up. And hit us up on at BRex tonight on Twitter.
But
Fuck
so many of the
my
places
life.
have moved to shredded lettuce because then you can't tell if it's brown.
No. Shredded lettuce, if done properly, will not brown at a
Cool.
much slower.
So,
It'll brown at a
if you
slower
go into
rate.
normal-
Especially
Keep it
after you
fresher
put
longer.
potato white on it, which is
Yeah.
what people do.
Oh, I used to wrap it in damp paper towels, and it would stay good for a week.
Sure.
It was amazing.
But
Every
we
other
also agree
restaurant
that's not
scattered
yeah.
potato white on it.
I've never heard of that before, so
No.
new to me. Cool.
It's
All
an
right, we love y'all.
antioxidant.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night on Boomer Rex tonight.
All right.